Hello, my name is Carla, and this is my very first YouTube video. I have been enjoying working in planners for about 6 months. My husband wanted to get me started on bullet journaling because he thought it would be good for me because of the way that you can change things if you don't like them. And because I don't really like to do the same thing over and over again. And I like to be able to change. You know, with a bullet journal, you don't really feel trapped. He got me this cover, this traveler's notebook. This is from the company called Wanderings, and I really have liked this a lot. It's been a beautiful bullet journal. He bought me a new one. It's a Midori, and we'll talk about that another time. He got that one used for me. But this is the one I carried from July until December 31st of 2017. And so this is my very first insert that I completed. Volume 1. I have been an avid paper crafter for years and years, and so I had all the supplies. At first, when I started to do some research on YouTube just to look at bullet journals, and then I somehow fell down the rabbit hole of all these people who make these traveler's notebooks, which are kind of a combination, I think, between a bullet journal and a junk journal. And this is right up my alley. I love the organic kind of patina that the leather gets. I love that you can fill these up and then move on to another one. It's very satisfying to fill one up. I just really do think that this is the size and format for me. And so I began to pull items out of my paper craft stash and start just gluing them down. I just had fun with my supplies. In this book, I worked with 3 kits, Citrus Twist, Cocoa Daisy, and the Planner Society, and I love them all. I think they're all fantastic businesses. I enjoyed their kits immensely. I had to quit all 3 of them because I just have too much stuff, seriously. Got a little bit of a problem, which I know that a lot of you do as well in terms of buying supplies. Right around this time, just about a week after I started my traveler's notebook, my middle son figured out how to enable me to print from my phone. And so that has been a tremendous amount of fun. I can just snap pictures anytime, and then when I have time to sit down and work on my traveler's notebook, I just print out the pictures and I can go put them in, and it has made this kind of I consider this like the next evolution of a Project Life book. And I loved doing Project Life, but that's a gigantic 12 by 12 album. And I think my Project Life album probably weighs 20 pounds. I mean, the thing is massive. And so I just stick ephemera in here, things from my days. This was my first future log. And yes, each one of these are individual stickers. I probably won't do that again. But, you know, I was just a beginner, and my sister was in town, and we were just sitting at the table. I got her sucked into traveler's notebooks too. My husband and I got her set up with a cover and with some inserts, and she's obsessed as well. And we just were having fun, and I was using these very old supplies. I made my first month log. I don't make my own months now. I have a month calendar that I keep in the back of this. This is the one I'm carrying now. This is my monthly, and this is my daily. And now that's how I do it. And I kind of like that method, to have my month back here and then my daily here, because this way I can change these as I fill them up, and yet I have a whole year here to refer to. So far I'm really liking that. But back in August, I didn't have all that figured out yet. And so here was a weekly setup. And then here was my very first tracker. I'm not having really good success with trackers. I keep putting them in my inserts, and I might actually quit doing it at some point. I mean, there's no sense in continuing to make these things and then feel a bunch of guilt if you don't fill them out. I'm old enough now so that I evaluate things, and if it's not working and if it's not making me better, it's making me worse, then why do it? But I haven't quite given up on them yet. These are just Project Life supplies, and I'm just writing everything down. I got this idea from Boho Berry. She was writing, of course, look at my little cloud that I drew. If you look at hers and then look at mine, you'll have a nice laugh. But she was writing the high and the low temperature for the day and kind of whether it was sunny or cloudy or rainy or whatever. And I gave this up pretty quickly. I don't really care that much what the weather was. And I certainly, don't know how to draw, so it looks kind of silly. So there I did it again. And here I didn't draw, but I did the temperature. This is my sister and I. This tips out. Getting pretty fancy there. Stamped this and it was a mess, so I stamped it again on this card, and that time it worked out better. I believe this is a Cocoa Daisy stamp. They make really nice stamps to go with their kits. At least they used to. This is probably 3 or 4 years old from one of their older kits, so at that time they were making beautiful stamps. I don't know what they're doing now, but I do know that they still do the kits. These are Unity stamps. Die cuts. I have a die cutting machine and a ton of dies, and I try to use them in my books because, they're bought and paid for. Why not use them? Here's a week. I quit using these. I think this was the last one I ever did. I don't really need these. If I have an appointment, I write it in my on the day in my monthly calendar. I'm using my traveler's notebook more, sometimes as to-do lists, sometimes as record keeping. That's what I use it for. It isn't necessarily, it's not a calendar for me. My calendar is the calendar, and this is the place to have fun. This is Middle Son flying off to Europe, where he is happy, 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 living a beautiful life, and we're all missing him like crazy. It was a silly thing. We were shopping one time and the boys filled up the cart with about 14 of these Hershey's syrups, which cracked us up. And we did not buy 14 of the Hershey syrups, just so you know. If you went to the store and there were no Hershey syrups, it wasn't us, I promise. Solar Eclipse Day, our entire school, everyone there, all the students, all the staff, went outside and observed the eclipse. It was a very cool thing to do. I enjoyed it. Took this picture with my phone. Planner Society stuff. Planner Society washi tape is beautiful, but at least here in Colorado, it doesn't stick all that well. See, here it is again, coming up. Here's some Planner Society washi tape. It's beautiful. Planner Society. Haircut. I actually went short. My hair was much longer. It was probably down to here. Got a lot cut off. It gets tiring dealing with all that hair. Planner Society. Planner Society. It's just beautiful stuff. The designs are second to none. Here's a sampling of the washi tape from one of the kits. Little banner from one of the kits. All of these motivational things come from a Mambi sticker pad. They're a great value. You get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stickers. They sell for $19.99. I always get them on sale for half price, or I buy them at Tuesday morning. And they're always